One of the most terrifying and well-known paranormal events in recent history is the story of the Ammons family from Gary, Indiana, USA. The story took place in 2011 and involved a series of unexplained events that occurred in what seemed to be an ordinary house but ended up attracting attention from the media and authorities, including healthcare workers, social workers, and even the police. What happened in this house has led many to believe in the supernatural. Latoya Ammons moved into a small house with her mother, Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children. Shortly after they moved in, strange things began to happen. It started with small, odd occurrences like knocking sounds on the walls in the middle of the night. Doors that were supposed to be closed were found open, and objects were moved without explanation. It all seemed innocent enough at first, but it didn't take long before the situation escalated into something much more frightening. One night, Latoya woke up to the sound of her 3 children screaming. When she rushed into the room, she found them sitting in bed, terrified. They told her they had seen figures in the house, dark shadows moving around, especially near the basement. After that night, the children began behaving strangely. They suddenly became aggressive, started speaking in deep, distorted voices, and several times claimed that they were being controlled by something evil. The situation quickly worsened when Latoya and Rosa also began to experience physical discomfort. Both reported feeling invisible hands pushing or restraining them. Latoya also described witnessing her son being lifted off the ground, thrown against the wall by an unseen force, and on another occasion, she claimed that he walked backwards up the wall and onto the ceiling, a sight that several witnesses, including medical personnel, later confirmed. Latoya eventually contacted a priest who came to the house to bless it. However, the priest said that the blessing did not work and advised the family to move out immediately. He believed that the house was infested with a demonic presence. The events in the house eventually became so severe that social services and the police got involved. The children were examined by doctors and psychologists, but no one could offer a rational explanation for their behavior or the physical injuries that they had sustained. Several social workers and healthcare workers who examined the children also reported experiencing unexplainable events while in the house, such as seeing dark figures or feeling sudden temperature changes. One social worker, who later gave a written statement, described how she had witnessed one of Latoya's sons walking backwards up a wall, then turning his head 180 degrees before falling to the floor without showing any signs of injury. She fled the room in panic and refused to return to the house. The police became involved, and several of the officers who conducted investigations in the house reported strange phenomena. One officer who went down into the basement found an area where the ground beneath the house had been dug up. After this, several of the police officers began experiencing unexplained events such as eerie voices on their radios and strange technical malfunctions with equipment. One of the most well-known incidents from the house involved a Catholic priest named Michael Maginot. After hearing what was happening, he decided to perform an exorcism on Latoya Ammons. He conducted 3 exorcisms, one in Latin, and reported that during the ceremonies, Latoya began to snarl, curse, and become violently ill, which he believed were clear signs of demonic possession. After the final exorcism, the house was permanently abandoned, and Latoya Ammons and her family moved to another city. After they left the house, all paranormal activity ceased and the family was able to live normally again. While many attempted to offer rational explanations for the events, including mental health issues or mass hysteria, many professionals, including doctors, social workers, and police officers, stood by their claims that they had experienced unexplained things in the house. The story received widespread media attention and has become one of the most well-documented and terrifying paranormal cases in the United States. This story, known as the Ammons haunting, is an example of a truly paranormal event where many witnesses from different backgrounds claim to have seen and experienced things that cannot be explained by traditional science. It's a rare case in which both authorities and healthcare workers were involved, adding an extra layer of realism and fear to the story.